So I picked up the engine parts from the paint shop yesterday, and I'm going to start on the rebuild. The car comes back into the garage in a few days, and so my goal is to get the engine put back together so that I've got a little bit more room in here when the car comes back. So tonight I'm going to start working on the rotors. I've got everything laid out here in terms of what I need to get them built. Got the oil control springs, oil control rings. Got my side seal springs, corner seal springs, and then corner seals. I'm using Mazda OEM parts on all of this stuff, with the exception of the Apex seals, which I have the I-Rotary seals. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on this and see how far I get tonight. Most likely I'm going to be spending most of my time clearancing the side seals. That's the most time consuming part of this whole process. I'm just going to mark these real quick so that I know which one is the front rotor and which one is the rear. I actually didn't mark these when I first took them out because I knew I was going to clean them, but I know based on my video that I did last time that this one is actually the rear rotor. And I can tell because of where the machining is on these. It's quite different. Now this is the actual challenge here with these. You can sort of see that these come a little bit long, and so what we have to do is clearance these, and I think the best way to do it is actually to mark these with a Sharpie so that we know exactly how much we need to take off, and then we start filing it down. Now you can either do this by hand with a stone or a piece of sandpaper, so but it's a tedious process, and so we'll get right into it. Okay, I got this one pretty close here. I'm going to go ahead and fit it in here, and then we're going to take the feeler gauge and see if we're close. Now the official Mazda spec for this is for it to be clearance between 0.05 millimeter and 0.15 millimeter. So what I've got here is 0.076, which is a little bit in the middle, and we're going to see how close we are. And feeler gauge fits in here almost perfectly. So this one is good. Alright, I'm going to just basically turn off the camera and keep working on this. So I've got all the side seals clearance properly. Next thing to do is the oil control rings, and then pop everything back out, and then I'll seal it up with Vaseline, and then the side will be ready to go. through and got all the Turblown studs put in. This is kind of a long process of torquing this all down, so I didn't film it. But basically it uses the same stock pattern. It's kind of a crisscross star shape. And I use the stock sealing washes as well with a little bit of sealant on them. Alright, I'm going to stop work for tonight because I ran into a little snag. You just saw me measuring the eccentric shaft end play with the dial indicator, and Mazda spec in the service manual says that it needs to be between 0.04 and 0.07 millimeters of play. Mine is right around 0.035. So what that means is my spacer is not thick enough. So I'm going to go ahead and order a new spacer, one that's probably the next size up, and get that in here and then remeasure it and see if we're within spec. So I can't do any more on the front stack for right now. I'm going to stop for now, and then next time I'll most likely flip the engine over on the other side and do the flywheel and the clutch.